Rocky.
For one time, we entered a minute late, so now
Yeah.
we get a minute.
On
cancel
average,
each other out.
we start at 7:30. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 8, sometimes it's 7.
Yeah.
Not really. It's always about 7:30.
Yeah.
Just joking. Okay. Welcome. Welcome to lately has been rather tamed FroN'Girls.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're going to be talking about 3D printing. And by we, I
Make
mean
it so that doesn't flash.
Sume and Isla.
Experts here.
But before we do, how about we all join each other for the simultaneous sip?
Here goes.
That was really hard. All right. Oh, what a way to start the day. Is that not the best part of the day?
I don't know.
I think there's a lot of
There's a lot of great parts of the day. Yeah, that's true. Well, it's been really exciting lately since we got our first 3D printer.
Yeah.
It's basically been like running day and night. We got our own like little factory.
Yeah, pretty much. There's like bits of filament just all over our basement.
It took us Sume 5 hours to put it together.
Well, like
Do you want to tell us the story? What's our
Yeah.
whole 3D printing story? Or should we
So-
start out by telling people where they can go to learn more about 3D printing? So that their kids can do it.
At makeshifthomeschool.app.
MakeshiftHomeschool.app. This is exclusive to MakeshiftHomeschool.app. You can only see the articles on what, like which 3D printers, do what, which ones are the best value, where to get filaments, or like what kinds of stuff to make.
Yeah, we have so many articles on 3D.
You gotta go to MakeshiftHomeschool.app in order to see it, people.
Woo! Shake it,
Okay? Shake and bake.
Okay, so we
Love saying that.
I spent like 4 days researching on which would be the best one because we didn't want to get like a really bad quality 3D printer that just didn't really work because then it would probably just sit in our basement and not do anything. And if we got like a really we didn't want to get an overpriced one that worked just as well as some other one that was $100 less. So we decided on getting an Orca Cygnus 2, but it was out of stock. There were 3 websites you could get it from. I think two of them we didn't think were very trustworthy. Like they were shipping from China and their customer service wasn't very good.
It's not that we don't trust Chinese.
It's just
Some
that
of us even marry them.
We were
It's
not
just that
able
it-
to
it-
touch their...
We weren't able to get in touch with their
Yeah,
customer
customer
service.
Yeah,
Just
and
clarify that
when
point.
you're shipping overseas, it's more hard and
It's
things
just the
can
way
go
you
wrong.
said it was so perfect.
Oh,
It's like, yeah, I mean, some of them
so-
were rather untrustworthy looking. They were from China.
Lots of stuff from China.
Yeah, most of everything that we have.
Daddy
is from
blacklisted the companies because he thought they were a national security risk. Sorry, go ahead.
And then the website that they responded immediately. Their customer service was great. We're out of stock, so we decided to get another a different 3D printer that was under $500. And so we decided to get the Ender 3, not the Ender 3 Pro, which we got off of Amazon for $200. So,
Really, it was only $200.
yeah, these
Because the first one we were looking at was like
2,000.
2,000,
Yeah.
and then the other one we looked at was 400.
mhm.
But
But
honestly,
then-
I wasn't paying attention. I was just like, whatever you want.
Sume decided
Yeah,
to
I
go with-
decided it has a smaller build volume than most of the other ones we were looking at. But I think I didn't really plan on making things really big. And since it was kind of for starters, it was really And also, there is a YouTube channel called RC Life On, and he made a lot
You
of
should
really
spell
good,
that out for people because that's a really good channel.
It's just RC and then Life. And then
rclife.com.
On.
rclifeon.com.
No, it's just on YouTube. It's
It's a YouTube channel.
It's a YouTube channel, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Really good. This guy did 3D printed shoes and then was like running around and stuff. So he's a really cool guy to learn about this stuff from. Not as good as makeshifthomeschool.app, but
Yeah.
pretty good,
Yeah.
you know.
But
That's debatable.
so okay. But
That's true.
yeah, true. So then we got it, and it arrived a day early, which was kind of surprising since it's kind of when everyone's trying to buy stuff off of Amazon to give us presents. But and so it took me around 4 hours to put it together, just because I kept reading the instructions wrong because it was just so vague. It was only 12 steps for putting together the entire 3D printer. So, and then I kept having to redo it and take it apart and put it back together, which made it take a lot more time. But I just used a YouTube video instead because it was a lot more informative. And the YouTube video actually didn't follow the instructions. They did it a different way, but it still worked out for me. So,
What YouTube video was that? Was that from the same channel?
no, it was some other guy.
Isla has a lot of experience in putting things together.
So why did you want to get into 3D printing? I mean, isn't 2D printing good enough for you? Or are you spoiled and now it needs to be three-dimensional? What's the backstory?
Well, we first started researching about 3D printers, and I wrote a 20-page article on 3D printers and stuff. So, when I first found out about it, I thought it was really interesting, and and when I started researching about, I also wrote 5 makeshift homeschool articles on it as well. So it was just a really fascinating topic for me. And when you were saying we should probably get a 3D printer, I started getting really excited because I had all these ideas of what I wanted to make. There's this website called thingiverse.com. It's a thing. And then verse.com, and it just where everybody can just download their files for what if they design something to 3D print, then they can just share that. So there's just so many designs, and I was getting more and more excited just looking through this and oh my god, I want to 3D print that. I want to 3D print that. So
amazing things.
Yeah,
Can be
so
printed.
This poop emoji.
I 3D printed a poop emoji
As
for
you
my
can see,
sister.
That's Isla's.
And painted it with
This
just
is-
some
This
acrylic
This is
paint.
life-changing
Yeah.
technology.
And so I just painted it with acrylic paint as well. I don't have the dual extruder, but
No dual extruder.
yeah. And then I also 3D printed this 2020 Christmas ornament with a toilet paper roll and a mask.
Oh, is that what that is? A toilet paper roll?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we had a toilet paper shortage, so it's just kind of something that we can have in our ornament box to
Yeah.
remember 2020.
That's pretty sweet. Where are the Minecraft weapons? I
Oh,
want to
those
play
are
with
in the
those.
office.
I'm gonna go get the Minecraft
I
weapons and
3D
play with
I
them
3D
while you keep talking. Keep
Okay.
talking.
I 3D printed some Minecraft pickaxes and stuff for Elijah, who is our cousin. So we still need to mail them. But
I got Christmas socks.
Yeah, you didn't 3D print those socks though.
No.
yeah.
Pretty soon we're gonna switch to 100% 3D printing. We won't
Yeah.
own anything that we didn't print using our little tiny $200 Amazon 3D printer.
Yeah.
Like, some people consider themselves minimalists. That's hardcore, right? That's going beyond Japanese style.
Well, but we're not
You know how small the cups are going to have to be? Actually,
No,
the cup will
actually,
be
it
pretty
doesn't.
sweet.
Yeah, it would. Hey, I
Yeah.
did find a design for a coffee cup on
Here, do you want to
Thingiverse.
show? Here, you can show.
But I don't know if PLA would really do
on
that.
on Twitter. I'll show on Facebook. Yeah, keep talking.
So these are just little Minecraft weapons and tools and stuff.
I'm gonna mine your face while you keep talking.
Okay.
Just act
I mean,
normal.
So it's just one thing about the Ender 3
What is that tree?
is that I wish it had automatic bed leveling, which I think did come with the Orca Cygnus 2. I'm not sure. I could have remembered that wrong, but
Oh, I'm blocking your
but
face.
it's
Sorry.
it's like really important because if your bed is too high, then your nozzle's just gonna scrape the bed,
But then
and
you're
you won't be
walking
able to
on
print
Twitter.
anything because there's nothing like
We can make
There's,
our own keys in the future.
Just keep talking. You're doing
because the plastic can't come out if it's just scraping across the bed, and if the bed's too low, then the plastic's just going to be hanging out from the nozzle. You won't be able to print anything, and so it's really frustrating when you're trying to print something, and it's like your bed just you have to like adjust it so much, and
Right.
so if you are thinking about getting a 3D printer and don't want to spend like half an hour turning the little knob so you can get the bed perfect, then I would recommend getting one with automatic bed leveling, because
I would recommend getting a daughter who does all this stuff for you, and then have her run podcast. Okay.
but even though it's gonna probably like be more expensive, then it'll still probably save a lot of time. Unless you get it like just right and then it just stays there.
Wait, did you talk about auto bed?
That's what I'm talking about right now.
Okay.
You could also
What's your
talk about, like, when you're looking at different kinds of 3D printers, you may want to talk about some of the considerations. Like, what are the biggest differences between like the $2,000 one? We're still looking at getting one of these like
Yeah.
$500 ones, right? Like,
one
what's the other one we want to get, and why do we want to get that one? Why not stick with like the $200 one from Amazon? Makes perfectly good Minecraft tools.
Well, the Orca Cygnus 2, one has a very large build width. Build volume.
That means that you can build bigger stuff.
Yeah.
On
And
it.
so, because it's just bigger. Also, the Orca Cygnus 2 comes with the dual extruder, which means you can print with 2 different filament colors or 2 different filaments at the same time.
Whoa.
So, it does take more time to print with that because obviously you have to switch between the 2 colors. But you can, instead of like with this, I had to paint it, but with a dual extruder, you could just buy like some brown filament and then some like white filament or something, and then you can just switch between them.
Wait, how many colors can it print with?
Dual means
dual
2.
means 2. It can only print with 2. I think there are some
get
things you
rainbow
can.
colors.
There are some things you can buy that that allow you to do like up to 4 different extruders at the same time.
Okay.
But obviously that would just take even more time because you have to like alternate between all of the 4 extruders.
Right.
But and so one, the Orca Cygnus 2 comes with the dual extruder. And also I
Just want to keep showing that.
I think that it
Can I show it on Twitter?
Yes.
and I also think that like the Orca Cygnus 2, I think it prints really fast. It's one of the faster 3D printers, and that's one thing is that I'm a little bit impatient when it comes to waiting for the 3D
Yeah, you
printers
should see
to
her.
like
She's
print
sitting there
everything.
staring at the 3D printer like, come on, bastard!
That's more me trying to figure out the bed
Yeah.
leveling, but
The thing you can do to help with that is run around the room doing the chicken dance. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what me and Sume did.
They'd be running around,
Also with the Orca Cygnus 2, you don't have to put it together. It comes in the package mostly pre-assembled, and that was one thing that was like really frustrating for me with the Ender 3. But I'm glad I did it because if I hadn't built it, I've had several problems with pretty much all of the motors so far. So it's also, since it is cheaper, it is a little bit less like quality. My Z motor got jammed. My Y motor kept getting blocked from the with wires, and then it wouldn't work properly. And so it was.
How many motors there? 3?
Well, there are, like, I don't really know. I can't tell you what motors are inside the extruder, like, if there are other motors. Like, the motors that I know about are, like, there are also wires that go to, like, there are these stoppers where basically when the extruder goes to, like, the end of the line, and then there's this button that clicks just to say, okay, you've reached the end of the line. I've had several problems with those where the bed clicked it, but it didn't realize, so it just kept banging against the back. So hopefully the Orca Cygnus 2 doesn't have so many problems. I've been having, like, at least, like, a problem a day where I have to, like, fix something on it. It might be because I didn't put it together correctly, but I don't really think that's it, because it does print things very well. It just it does have some problems. One thing
Sounds like the Orca can sometimes act like
I
a
want to
piece
talk
of
about
poop.
the 3D filaments.
it's the Ender 3.
All right, I'm done.
Different types of filament. Well, the Ender 3 can work with PLA and some kind of less flexible TPU. Some filaments like Ninja Flex it won't be able to print as well with, which is not the case with the Orca Cygnus 2, which can print very well with the Ninja Flex, which is one of the reasons. Is a type of very flexible TPU. And TPU just is a flexible filament. And so Ender 3 can print with TPU, but like not the really, really flexible ones. It doesn't do as good with. It can print with PETG, and it said that it could print with copper filament. I don't know if that means like actual copper filament or like filament colored like copper. It can print with wood filament, which is just it's just filament made with wood fiber, so it looks and feels like wood. But it's not made completely out of wood. I don't really see how that will work.
Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know about that.
So I'm gonna have to look into if it actually can print with copper, because that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Because we have some copper.
You would have to have it in like the
Copper
filament rolls,
filament.
but
We can buy it from Amazon.
it would probably be like more expensive than just regular plastic filament. The kind of standard filament you would use is PLA, which is compatible with pretty much every single 3D printer. And one thing is just with the Ender 3, with the ABS, the bed level, the bed temperature doesn't reach like as high or something, I guess, or maybe it was the nozzle. But if you don't enclose like the 3D printer to trap the heat, then it might have like layer separation with when you're printing with ABS, which is harder to print with than PLA, but like and it isn't necessarily compatible with all 3D printers, but is more durable. So
this is interesting to me because I've been following, but you're talking about things that are so technical that it may be hard for some parents to follow and go, okay, yeah, but what do I do with my kid? You know?
Okay.
Maybe bring it back to like.
Well, okay.
So there's the PLA, which is the filament and the blah blah blah, and I'm just like, what? I have a poop emoji on my head. Treat me with that level of intellectual ability.
Okay. So I think what you might, for like parents, if you're trying to get your kid a 3D printer and they haven't really been, like, if they haven't had a 3D printer before and don't really know like what they're really doing with it.
Why would they want to do?
Because then you're allowing your kid, because like I've had ideas of things I want to make, but like I just didn't have the pieces or the materials that I needed. And so with the 3D printer, you can just basically allow your kid to like basically create anything that like fits in the build volume, and
Anything.
like a poop emoji.
There's
Yes.
a lot more things you printed that's under our Christmas tree.
Let me share a few thoughts as a parent on this question, because I think that this is probably like a key thing parents may be wondering. So, why is Minecraft so popular? Well, it's a lot like Legos, right? Well, why is Legos popular? Well, it allows kids to take their ideas and make them a reality, because Legos are so easy to build, right?
And you're looking in.
That's what 3D printers allow kids to do, but in like this whole next level, right? And the software that Sume is using
To design.
is easy enough to use that.
You can pretty much drop any picture into Cura, and basically just the darker colors will be higher. And it creates something called a lithophane, which basically you hold it up to the light and a
You're
picture
starting to talk
appears.
all technical again. All right, keep it real simple.
Okay, a lithophane is something that
You don't even need to use the terminology. Just like
Okay.
just go like
And then-
you can make things
Yeah, you
really
can-
easy. Young people can make things really easy, and there's a bunch of pre-built designs so that they can just
Yeah.
scroll through.
Except parents might not want
and
kids
drop.
on Thingiverse just because there are some like curse words, but like it's not like, I don't know if they would really want like their kids on Thingiverse, but their kids can take pretty much any like pictures and then just drop it into Cura and then they can print it.
Yeah.
And like so, and I think
Yeah. So it's like it 3D printing for kids is really, really cool and fun because it's similar to like Legos and Minecraft. It allows them to be very creative and build stuff that they want to build. And but in a way that gives them even more flexibility. And I'd say prior to like a few years ago, the technology wasn't really there on the software side to make it easy enough for just about anybody to do it. Now it is.
There are some 3D printers where it's like, where you can't really mess with any of the settings, and so then that would kind of be better for like people who are first starting out because they can't mess up the settings. But then you don't really learn about the settings and like how you can modify them. And
Do you think for a kid before they get a 3D printer, start with 3D pens?
I'd say start
no.
with this $200 3D printer. On
no,
Amazon.
I don't think 3D pens. Well, they don't really teach you about like, you don't get to use software. It's just all handheld. You're not really learning as much about like the different things you can do with 3D printing and things, because with a 3D pen, well, one, it comes with a bunch of filament, right? So you're not really learning about the filament you want either.
Usually it's
And
PLA.
and usually it's PLA. I haven't really heard of any 3D pens that work with a lot of different types of like a filament, like TPU. Like how I don't understand how you would like use TPU to create stuff with a 3D pen just because it's flexible.
Yeah, it's not the same experience. You're not going to sit there with a pen and be like, and slowly build like a Minecraft tool.
Yeah, it's less.
Like this.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's more like a marker, I feel like, than like an actual machine.
I feel like a
Yeah.
3D printer is such a great holiday Christmas gift for young people because it is one of these things that you can buy that provides so many learning opportunities for kids.
Yeah.
Right?
You might want to get a pre-built.
Building a 3D printer.
I mean, you might want to get a pre-built one because then...
Make them build it!
Because if the instructions that come with it can be very vague, and they,
YouTube.
And yeah, they can use YouTube, but also I did find some videos that were they were telling me to do the wrong things, and I was fact checking actually the video that I saw. There are different wires you have to connect to different motors. If you connect the wrong wire to the wrong motor, it'll mess up the axis, and it'll think that the extruder is like the bed or something, and and so I had to actually fact check with the actual instructions because the guy on the YouTube video was actually connecting the wrong ones.
Learning opportunity. I guess it just depends on who your kid is and how involved you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, you might have to you might end up having to build it. If they don't really understand the instructions, then they
also
obviously won't be able to build it.
Wrong YouTube video, they didn't go to check with instructions.
I'll tell you what, if you go to makeshifthomeschool.app, then you can see which one Sume got and which YouTube video she used to put it together.
I don't think I included the YouTube video.
You should include that and put it on the app.
Okay, I will.
And we could put that one actually on makeshifthomeschool.com, so it's open to parents that just want to see.
Right. Yeah.
Like how to get started with 3D printing with your kid.
Yeah, I think that one that might be really good. That's more expensive, but I've had some problems with the wires getting in the way, and then that caused the 3D printer to malfunction because there are just wires everywhere. It's kind of inconvenient, but...
How dangerous is this? Should I be concerned?
I don't think so. Like, the nozzle heats up to really high temperatures, but you can't really touch it. Like, it's...
Or if you did, it would be like, ah! Like,
yeah.
It's not like...
It's not like
but
a
there's
giant
not like...
thing.
When you're saying all these wires and stuff, you know, parents hearing that might be like, I don't want my kid around a bunch of wires. Like,
they're just wires. Like, they're just connecting different.
Okay.
And they won't be
resources.
heated up. You have to turn it on in order to heat the nozzle.
it's definitely safer than working with metals, which is what I originally thought about doing with my kids.
Yeah,
We went to Home Depot
were
and we were
gonna
checking
buy
out
me a
blowtorches.
welder.
Yeah, I was gonna get ILO welder.
But then they had risk of exploding.
Yeah,
So
that was great.
I was
So-
like,
It was like, we should learn about traditional manufacturing before we do additive manufacturing, which is
I
the
was
other term
like,
for 3D printing.
Daddy, it says, warning, has risk of exploding. Do not leave a round child or something like that.
Do not give to your child the blowtorch, because it comes with propane tank that go boom sometime. It's like,
So,
okay, let's do... So 3D
but one
printers, you
thing-
can do manufacturing and not risk explosion.
yeah, and for the... If they're worried about, since, yes, the nozzle does heat up and the bed does heat up. If you're worried about the bed, don't be worried about the bed. Like, if you put your hand on, which I have because it feels warm and the basement's cold. It's
Yeah.
just basically like a hand warmer.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's just down there and I'm
50
cold. I'm
degrees,
like,
and it's just like
It's only
warm.
50.
It won't burn you.
It's 50 degrees Celsius. It won't burn you. It's like a hand warmer, and it's really hard to touch the nozzle and just like tell your kid like don't touch the nozzle because it does get up to 200 degrees.
Okay.
The nozzle is the thing.
Celsius.
Is the tiny box thing that goes around, leaving out
The
melts
filament.
the plastic
Mhm.
on the bed hand warmer thing.
So I wanna just quickly summarize for those watching the key reasons why 3D printing is super awesome for kids in terms of learning opportunities. So, like Minecraft and Legos, they're able to take their imaginations and build things. It's also low risk, unlike traditional manufacturing and risks of using a blowtorch, which we looked into. It was like, I don't know, it's just way more dangerous. Like there's really not a danger associated with 3D printing, unless your kid wants to like eat the filament. Like depends on the age of the kid, right?
Yeah. You might not want to get one for your 3-year-old.
There's also
Just
like
a
a
thought.
wide range of, you can start pretty cheap with like a $200.
I saw there was like a $95 one.
We haven't used that one.
It
so we
probably
may-
does not
You
work.
You probably
at
have to like
all.
hold that one together while it's
Yeah.
working and be like, okay.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't print.
But like, $200 for something
Yeah.
that allows a kid to use their imagination and pull also from software. Like it's drag and drop pre-designs that you can look up on this website Sume found. So they can take like you found one for these Minecraft tools. She just pulled that, stuck it on a zip disk, stuck it into the 3D printer.
Yeah.
And ta-da!
One
Right.
thing is that
So these are all really cool learning opportunities for the kids. It gives them exposure to not only like how to build things in manufacturing, but they can also start their own minds are going to be really interested in it. So they're going to want to learn how to build in the software so they can create their own, objects
In the
just
real
like they
life.
do with Minecraft and Legos, right? So this opens the path for that. And so that's why I think it would make a great gift idea. You can learn more at makesurehomeschool.app.
yeah, and it's also like if you get like let's say it's like Valentine's Day and then you're supposed to like hand out those little things to like all the people in your class. Like if you 3D print something that's like it's just really cool to just be
You can just start a week early, but it also takes some
Yeah,
time.
one thing is just that it does take a lot of time to print something.
But all you have to
with
do is
all
stick
the
chip
with all the
in.
Minecraft things, that took around 5 hours.
This
It's beautiful.
beautiful piece of poo took
Chocolatey
5
poo.
hours to make.
It was worth it.
And the
Totally worth
Minecraft
it.
tools, all 4 Minecraft tools,
And it's
Took-
hollow.
yeah.
That's
Um,
another reason why 3D printing is cool. Is you can actually use
Yeah.
because it's additive manufacturing. It's opposed to like
And-
traditional manufacturing.
It'll save.
You save on
on
materials.
materials.
You only use exactly what you need, and you can also make like things hollow when it may be harder to do that using a mold, like a traditional
like,
manufacturing approach.
Pretty much everything I've 3D printed is hollow. Even this is at around like 20% infill.
Even this?
Yeah, that's a little bit hollow.
Oh, really? I was making
Yeah.
a joke, but it's
Yeah,
actually
pretty-
hollow.
yeah.
Oh my!
And it's what I mean by infill is
Don't
that
eat it.
what I mean
Don't eat it.
what
See?
I mean by infill is just that you have different supports inside it. Just because if you make something completely hollow, it's not going to necessarily be as strong, but then you have like
Who
little
keeps
supports.
bouncing their knee? I'm just like bouncing up.
I
Um,
don't know what you're talking about.
So it's like
Bobblehead daddy. All right, go ahead.
the infill is just basically lines inside that make it. Almost everything has been hollow. I've only really used around 10-20% infill just because I don't. That's just worked for me. I don't know. And also most of the designs I found is just either 10 or 20% infill, depending on how long you want to print and how durable you want it to be. I
think we should wrap this up
Okay.
because we got to
to
start
flutter.
fluttering.
Yeah.
We're going to flutter.
Flutter.
Then 3D print. Basically, we're building apps. Then we 3D
Build
print
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then after that, what do? Make our
Music.
teepee. We still need to make our teepee.
Music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Make some music.
In the snow.
Isla's creating her music.
Oh.
I think it stopped snowing.
All right. So in short, we're really into 3D printing, and by we I mean these two.
Experts here.
And they wrote a bunch of stuff about how to get started that you can find at makeshifthomeschool.app. So if you want to learn more, feel free to check that out. Sume is also on Facebook. Do you want? Maybe you could share some of the links, or share the link there on Facebook, so if people want to learn more, they know kind of where to go. And then if they have a
link to makeshifthomeschool.app or
to the makeshifthomeschool.app, and then if they actually go in there and check that stuff out, and then they have questions, then you could reach out to her.
Before we wrap up, in case some people are thinking about getting a 3D printer, just 3 that are under $500. We have the Ender 3. And I would not recommend the Ender 3 Pro because it comes with the magnetic bed that doesn't really work and it's more expensive. So
don't get the Ender 3 Pro.
Yeah.
It's like you
Apparently
can
it's like the
if
Ender
you
3
want
sock.
to.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like
It's not any worse, but it's just really more expensive.
I mean, it is kind of worse.
It costs more and it's worse.
Yeah, so you would probably want to get the Ender 3. And there's also the TiVo Nereus, which is $100 more than the Creality CR10, which is basically the same thing, and it's a bit older, but it's not. The TiVo Nereus isn't really that much of an upgrade, and you can save $100 by getting the Creality CR10. And the last one is the Gagora A5S, which is more on is like $400-ish, but it comes pretty much everything is already built for you. So if you don't want to build it and you just want to just take it out of the box and then start printing, then that's good. And it's also, there are no wires leaking out. There's just one tube that holds all the wires. So if you're worried about wires, that one is just all completely sealed for you. So,
what about the Nimbus 2000?
that's a broomstick.
Oh.
From Harry Potter.
All right, sorry. Okay. So, thank you for watching. We'll have more updates on 3D printing.
Probably on Christmas because I have so many 3D
There's
printed
a lot.
Christmas presents.
Yeah, most of what we've printed is inside packages, boxes, and bags.
Yeah.
So we can't.
We
show
actually
it.
are doing a Periscope on Christmas.
Sweet.
So
Christmas
it's on
Periscope.
Friday. It's on Friday.
All right. Well, I guess yeah. So every
Wait, this Friday is
every
Christmas?
Tuesday and Friday,
Next Friday.
7:30 Eastern
Today's
time,
Friday, bro.
we're doing Tame FroN'Girls, a subsidiary of Makeshift Homeschool.
Should we do a Periscope while we open presents?
No.
Yeah.
No, that would
No.
be weird. At that point, people are watching like you guys are way overdoing it.
Oversharing.
Yeah. All right. So
But that's what we did 2 years ago.
it wasn't live. That was for family. Well, I guess one reason why we're doing this is we're trying to teach the kids about how to set good boundaries with social media. Like
Okay.
you have.
Can we do one for family?
It's good
though?
for some things. So like you guys started this platform where you're trying to help kids learn how to like self-direct their own learning, right? And have their own passions drive their educational process, right?
Yeah.
So this is part of the way that we communicate and teach other people about that. It's part of a business idea, although we're not really trying to make money with it. We're just trying to help kids. Everything's free. So this is a good use of social media to try to do that. But yeah, for things like Christmas time, some things are special. You want to keep that close to the heart with the people that you love. So anyway,
Ow.
sorry, I don't normally hit my children.
You're
All right.
just like, what?
All right. So, anyway, if you would like to make your own poop emoji with your child, then now you know where to go.
And just
So when you think
case
poop
any-
emoji, think makeshifthomeschool.app. Wait. And you can learn more.
in case anyone was wondering, I painted this with acrylic paints.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acrylic paint.
Right.
Not any other paints.
Right.
Acrylic.
Right. Yes. Okay. Shake and bake. All right.
Shake it back.
So,
Woo!
so thank you. Join us next time. Next Tuesday, every Tuesday, Friday, 7:30. You guys take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
Bye.
Bye.
Crack it.